United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Approval of the minutes for June 2nd, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the minutes, June
Commissioner-
2nd, 2025.
Commissioner Pierce, is there a second? Commissioner Eulenkamp. Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Awards and proclamations, nothing at this time. Public hearing, nothing. Bid opening, nothing. Visitors and delegations, and at this time, we have Lisa Crosby from the Lake Region Heritage Center. If you'd please come forward, identify yourself for the record. Tell us what you got to say.
Hi, I'm Lisa Crosby, Director of the Heritage Center and the Arts Center. And I'm here for the third quarter funding for the Heritage Center. I can't keep track of time, obviously, but it's been a busy quarter. And we had the gala. It was really busy. We had we fill up at 88 and we had about 72 people. We didn't have a full crowd, but it was still very fruitful. And we had a talent show, and it was a secret garden theme, which that I had a committee this time, so I wasn't going to do the planning. And it ended up I did do a lot of the decorating with a friend, and I wasn't the best decorator, so thank God I had a friend. Anyway, it turned out really great. That was busy. We've had a few different exhibitions at the Arts Center. We had the high school had their final art show for the high, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. That was really great. I still have some pieces there. Right now, the Park Board has their program going on there Monday through Thursday until the first or second week in July. And we have Micah Bloom in there in the gallery part. That's a really interesting exhibition. In the front part, you see a bunch of kids. That's his family. But if you go into the back part of the gallery, it's really cool. And there's a scavenger hunt. So if you go in there, it's fun. And then we have Linda Whitney coming next month. And she's a local gal, but she's been down south for quite a while. So come for that. But Heritage Center, we have Macaroni Days this weekend. And it is a throwback to the 40s when Durham was being grown, and it got very big in the area, and Macaroni Days was very popular. And so we're trying to get a tractor show, antique tractor show, but it's hard to get tractors downtown. Apparently, people's old tractors don't run. So we're having a hard time, but hopefully we can get some tractors downtown. And I have a art show in the Heritage Center with tools. And so a gentleman that is very artistic made a lot of different things out of old things and tools. So come over for that. And plus with macaroni. So if you remember being a kid and making art with macaroni, we have some of that, but also some really good stuff with macaroni and beans and lentils and stuff. So, and then there's a hot dish contest. So you can come down and eat at 11, and Louise Olson and Lane Azure are judging. And then we wanted a Miss Macaroni and Mrs. Macaroni, but we couldn't get any contestants. So if you know of anyone, send them our way. But yeah, so that's happening on Saturday. Yeah, any volunteers? Anyone have any friends, sisters?
Chief Doso would love to be Miss Macaroni.
I know he would.
I would. Anything
I
for
know.
you, Lisa.
I know. You're very generous with your time. But Colin Evenson is the chair for that. And he's done a lot of legwork, and he's begged and pleaded. And some people said they would, and then they can't get their tractors there. So anyway, it's going to be a fun day on Saturday. So come on down if you can. Other than that, I have lots of things going on. So we did have only one facility-wise problem. And of course, it was right before the gala, and it had to do with water, but it was a toilet. And it was cleaning that bathroom that last year I broke the sink, cleaning aggressively, and this time it was the water line going down to the floor. I wasn't mopping, but someone was, and they broke it right off. So that was a mess. And luckily, Mr. Grafsgard at one point had told us where the main was, and so she went running down, got the main shut off, and yeah, it wasn't a huge mess. Matthew Matt came and fixed it for us. So that's all. Any
So,
questions?
Anybody have any questions? Just ask for the money, right?
Yes, and I won't take any more of your time. I do appreciate.
Well, thanks for the update. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was a quick update. I could go longer, but Mike said 3 minutes.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the funding, quarterly funding?
Make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Hatch,
Second it.
Commissioner Kanowski. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Ash.
Aye.
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kanowski.
Aye.
President Wong.
Aye, motion carried. Good. Thank you. Second item, Mid-State Volunteer Program, and we have Brenda Bergsrud here to give us an update. And if you would come forward and do this, identify yourself for the record, please.
Hi. It was for the shelter funding.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
that's okay.
so we got funding issue here too.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's for
Perfect.
the shelter, the homeless shelter for this year. So I can give you the numbers for last year. So we had a total bed count of 3,285 for the year 2024. The capacity is 12 beds, as you know, and 9.5 were filled for 365 days. And of course, our numbers are constantly increasing, and we are turning people away, somewhat due to the closure of SAFE and the shelter in Fort Totten, which was only open for a couple of months. So we do need support, and we are continuously, needing supplies for the UAs and breathalyzer, and helping people find other resources. So cleaning. So questions?
Questions? Or
The other thing that we've had to fund more of is our food too, with the decrease in support to the Hope Center from the Great Plains Food Bank has made it so that we also don't have that partnership. We still have the partnership, but we're not getting as much food for the shelter guests as we did in the past. So no fault of the Hope Center. So, but so that's where we're at. And I have been in conversation with CVIC in Grand Forks, which is the domestic violence facility there. So, and hopefully maybe they'll decide to venture to Devil's Lake. So
So where do you get your, the food that you are lost from the Hope Center and the other places? You have to purchase that yourself, or how do you guys go about doing that?
So we've had to buy some ourselves, and then we also have a couple of restaurants in town who are donating. So when they close at night, so maybe 11 o'clock at night, whatever food they haven't sold, they'll donate to the shelter, which then staff has to go there at 11 o'clock at night to pick it up, which isn't real convenient, but we have the need, so that's what we're doing. So we have one gal that works on weekends, and she likes to cook and make hot dishes and stuff, so she usually puts them in containers so they have them outlast for a few days.
So how many beds do you have there currently?
12. And we do have room. We could increase, but that would be up to you to give us the increase. We could easily increase to 15. So I think when we first requested to be in that space, the city set it at 12, but we would like to actually go to 15. So
Well, I will, I'll approve the,
Make a motion?
make a motion to do the funding for the,
Commissioner Kanowski?
What are we currently? I'm sorry, wait till
Wait till
somebody seconds it.
Okay,
Then I'll
it's up
call
to
it.
you. A second. Okay, Commissioner Eulenkamp. Okay, discussion?
Would that space be past inspection with 15 beds in it for space allowed or anything like that? Do we know? Does anybody know?
Well, it should, it's just that, where we have a single bed, we can put a bunk bed.
I just didn't know if there were regulations to number of people to space to occupancy code.
Yeah.
We can look that up if you swing by the station tomorrow. We
Sure,
can look that up for you.
sure, I can
So
do
that way
that.
we can look into that a little more.
Okay.
Because Dustin and you worked on it the last time, right?
I believe so.
Mhm.
And let me know. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion. Any further discussion?
What's our current funding?
10,000.
We wouldn't mind if you doubled that.
Yeah. Well, everybody would love that, right?
Yeah.
So would the county.
Yeah. Okay, is there no further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kudowski.
Aye.
President Moore.
Aye, motion carried. Good luck and sorry we can't double it, but
That's fine, we
try
appreciate
to
it.
keep up the good work. I mean, it's a difficult job, I believe.
It is,
And I'll
it's very
be in touch
difficult.
with you this week about the transition housing as well.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thank
Well,
you.
thanks for coming in and giving us an update.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Okay, nothing else. We'll move into portfolios and we will start with Commissioner Kanowski.
Mike, tell me about the water department and sewer.
The Consumer Confidence Report, which is a report that's provided every year talking about the water quality within the city. That report is out there and completed, so that's available for everybody. It's on our website as well. So bring that information to your attention. Not quite done with hydrant flushing yet, but getting close. Then there is an item, it's an agenda item. So
Yeah.
that's all I
So
have
we
for
still
you.
have 2 openings?
Or we still have 2.
Is that line break by the water tower, is that ground going to be, is that going to be fixed anytime in the near future?
It's on the list. We have some additional work. There's a manhole up there. There was back in the day, there was an air release valve there. So we got some work to do there
Okay,
before the final touches are put on it. But it's on the list.
thank you.
That's all I have, sir.
Okay, Commissioner Hatch.
Mike, anything from sanitation?
Recycling, you want to bring that up as far as
Retirement.
retirement?
Retirement target. You want to
Yeah,
add some there?
There's a retirement party for Rodney Eisdahl for 30 years of service to the Lake Region Corporation and the city of Devils Lake. Tomorrow at June 17th, 2025, from 11 to 1 at the Roosevelt Park Shelter. Open house and lunch provided. So, and Rob will be there to present the plaque.
So normal recycling through the end of the month. And then as far as the recycled bins are concerned that people have, there's really 3 ways that they can be disposed of. If they don't want them, they can leave them out with their last pickup, and we'll send folks around to get them picked up. If somebody wants to keep them, they can keep them. And if they miss their recycling, don't put them out or whatever, they can drop them off up at sanitation and we'll take them.
Can that be added to the Facebook post that was put out by the city? There was one put out that the recycling, the last day of curbside recycling, but it doesn't say really much about their cans. Can that be added to that post?
That can be adjusted.
So just look at that information out first, or earlier.
But as far as June is concerned, it's the same schedule. It will end at the end of the month. Recycling will still continue up on the recycle center. It can be dropped off. That's all I have for sanitation, Commissioner.
Anything from engineering?
A few things on engineering. We did have a meeting with the contractor doing a lot of the mill and overlay work on the city project. And right now, the schedule is this week we'll be starting on some of that mill and overlay work. Specifically, the plan is to start up on Lynn, Cherry, Jana, those small dead-end roadways that are coming off 14th Street northeast. We'll be working there. There's a couple of alleys. One of them is adjacent to City Hall, and then the next block to the west. And then we'll be working on some of the avenues between 6th Street and 7th Street, 2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue, 4th Avenue, and 6th Avenue. We're going to be working in that area. Then we have a couple of alleys downtown that we're going to try and complete some work on yet this week. And then downtown parking lots. We'll see how the weather cooperates and how productivity is, but the plan is to start there. We have numerous other areas that we'll be working on, but this will be like the initial phase. So if you see some cones, you see some signage, downtown parking lots, some of the alleys and some of the avenues, that's the work that's occurring. So hopeful we'll start milling either late tomorrow afternoon or right away Wednesday. Depends on when the mill shows up. So that's the work that we have going on for our mill and overlay work. As far as the College Drive project, work's continuing there on some of the lighting portion of that. The foundations are in place. I'm sure some of you have seen some mast arms that got put up. That work is continuing. And so once that work's complete, then they'll progress to another phase. That's what I have for engineering at this point.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Rob?
Started property assessments last week for the year, doing residential properties that are south of Highway 2 and east of Highway 20. So if individuals live in that area and are willing to allow me to come in to do an assessment of their property, they can either give me a call to schedule that or go online. We've got a booking link that they can go to simply schedule that on their own. We'll be doing those through, June, July, and August. So through August, we'll be scheduling those. Then after that, I'll be out walking the streets and doing the assessments for the properties I don't get into. But that's pretty much all I've got. So unless you have questions of me.
How's that going? Yeah, very many or?
Right away, initially after people get the letters, those who are willing to let me get their appointments scheduled right away. So in the first 2 days last week, I had 7 that I did in 2 days. But now it tapers off a little bit, and I've got probably another 6 or 7 off is all that I've got scheduled. So with what I've got done and scheduled, I'm not even hitting 10% on the response rate, which is what we had last year, was about 11%. But that's kind of standard what we're seeing. I understand people don't necessarily want to let you come into their home.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, what's his name's not here tonight, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed he wasn't here. I think he's out in,
Which one?
with his Dominic.
Yeah, from the
He's out
airport.
with- I think he's gone with his mom. I in
Oh.
Washington DC. I think,
Okay.
where he's gone.
All right. This is the month that they change on the airlines now too, right?
June 23rd.
It's getting close. Okay,
Direct flight to Denver.
Okay.
perfect.
That'll be nice.
Okay. Oh, that's it? Okay. Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Mr. Grabsgaard, streets. Anything?
One thing for streets that I'd like to solicit some commission feedback on. I believe this will be the last commission meeting before the 4th of July. We have budgeted aerial mosquito spraying prior to the 4th of July for that weekend. We've done it a couple different ways in the past. We looked at counts and we've sprayed. In some cases, we looked at counts, spraying wasn't justified and we didn't spray. If the commission has a feeling one way or the other, it's a contact spray, right? So if the mosquito is not active and flying during that spray, it's not effective, right? And you're only, if you don't have a large hatch, there's it's not effective either because there really isn't a lot in here to spray. But so it costs us just over $9,400 a time for aerial spray. It is budgeted. If the commission feels strongly that we're going to spray no matter what, get it scheduled and do it prior to the 4th of July.
Have we noticed any? Have
We
you
will do that.
traps don't indicated any yet?
You you just did some spraying around town, right?
Yeah, we have sprayed a minimum of twice. I haven't looked to see if we have been out in the last day or two, but we've ground sprayed
Has
twice.
anybody noticed any? I haven't noticed any, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's not bad with the temperatures.
But yeah, so.
But once it gets hot.
Yeah, I
It
know.
can change, and it can change very quickly. right? So we can, but if, sometimes I get phone calls from commissioners that are interested in spraying, and you know,
Well, I wanna-
some people can feel strongly that if there's 10 mosquitoes out there, let's spray, right? Because
Well,
it is
if we need
budgeted
it,
and we want everybody to have a
but
great
I don't
4th of
know,
July.
Well,
If the commission feels strongly, we'll just schedule it, and it's going to be done prior to the 4th of July, and we're going to do it as part of our annual budget. Otherwise, we're gonna look at it, we're gonna, based on our counts, based on, you know, the information that we have available, we're gonna make a decision, and we'll, you know,
Go by
ground
counts.
yeah, but wasn't it last year that we had problems where?
Where our phone rang, Commissioner?
So wasn't it last year where we had, I mean, we saved the money, but we didn't, we had a hatch at a certain time and we had some problems with that. We couldn't get the aerial flight because they were booked already. So how long is it gonna take us if we decide prior to the 4th of July? What's the time frame that we have that we can say, hey, we need it because we got an influx of mosquitoes?
Well, I would think tonight, if you're gonna take action, because I don't believe there's any special commission meetings, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise, we will make a decision based on our hatches, the information that we have.
So we may potentially, like next week, special budget meeting, the 24th, 25th, or 26th. If we did it as early as the 24th, would the commission be able to take action at that time, whether or not to do an aerial spray or not? Would that give enough lead time in advance of the 4th?
In the past, that has worked, but I was gonna reach out to them and either have it scheduled if we knew we were doing it, we'd get on the schedule early and then we do it.
Can we
but can-
cancel it if we schedule it? It's hard to do that.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trying to fill our slots,
I-
right? Yes.
I understand.
Within, there's a window and I would have to look to see what that window is.
I mean,
I
I'm
just
all
wanna
about
make sure that
spraying
I
if they need to, but
Right.
if we don't, based on the count, but if we could wait till next week, if that would be possible to make that call. But
Even at that, with, you know, with that window, things can change. I just want to make sure that I'm following what the commission,
Mhm.
because everybody has an opinion, right? And when we say don't spray, you can have a hatch right then, and then darn it, why didn't you spray?
Well, I know the years that we were
so
firing
on and so forth.
fireworks, it was really bad some nights out there.
My opinion would be it's budgeted for, we know it's gonna be a complaint amongst the city if we don't do it. You know, if it's already, if,
Well, I'd like
how
to
much
save
of
the
that's
money when we
budgeted? How many
really need it.
sprays a year to?
We budget for the Labor Day and the 4th of July for an aerial spray.
But if we don't need it on the 4th, maybe we could have it for another, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, last year we did significant ground spray,
Yeah, and because that's cost effective, right?
correct?
Yeah.
We
So
can-
if we
we
can,
can
we can
ground-
amp that up as
There you go.
opposed
I
to,
agree with that.
I agree with that.
We can
Yeah.
ground spray 3 to 4 times for one aerial
Yeah.
spray. And some cities have gone away from the aerial spray. But I'll tell you, there's areas where the aerial spray can reach that we can't. You know, and it's all weather dependent. You're looking at different wind directions. We try and adjust how we're spraying based on the wind direction.
Yeah.
We have 3 units right now that, you know, we used to have 1 unit. The problem with 1 unit is the mosquitoes are only active for a period of time and you can't get through town in that period of time. That's why we purchase more units. So.
Make a motion to just up the air, or the ground spray during the 4th of July.
Motion, okay, let me get that. Okay.
We'll provide an
Motion,
update at the special meeting.
okay, we got a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Kanowski? Any further discussion?
Point of clarification, so you're saying increase ground spraying around that period of time and not aerial spray?
And
Up to now.
Unless
as of
there's
now.
as of now, let me rephrase that. I make a motion to increase the ground spraying as of now, depending on what we find out with our 24th meeting, to
Mhm.
see if the counts have gone up.
Based on, okay. And you're
I would
second,
agree
okay with
with
that?
that, yes.
Okay, any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
That's all I have for public ways, Commissioner, unless you have questions.
I don't. We had a library board meeting last Thursday. Maddie has given her notice to leave. She's going to be moving to Fargo to help co-parent their son. So her last day is going to be July 21st. So we have a special meeting now this Wednesday to go over the job description and all those. We can get that posted as soon as possible. And then we have an LAC meeting this Wednesday, but I'll let Jason touch on that.
Okay, is that all you have?
That's all I have.
Okay, Commissioner Pierce.
Chief Bennett, we'll start with you.
Okay, we got the final total for the fill booth. That was $5,569.36 that we raised for MDA. So it was pretty good. Thank you guys for helping. So.
Yep.
We hosted a live fire training.
Did I have the most in my booth?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Whether you did or not.
Sorry.
Was it like this big?
It's a smaller booth. That's it.
I'm embarrassing Commissioner Pierce.
He just stole all of my donators. I wave them down, they run to him.
So we just got done hosting on Saturday a regional live fire training for a few departments that needed their live burn for the NDFA. So that was good. Had 5 instructors there from our department. So 4th of July, the parade will start at 10 o'clock on the 4th of July. If it's rainy or it gets rained out, we're not rescheduling it. So the fireworks will start at dusk on the 4th of July. And then if that does get rained out, it'll be on the 5th. So we have 3 interviews this week. We got 2 on Thursday, 1 on Friday for that open position that we got. And that's all I got for you.
All right. Few things. The zoning, Renton County zoning, they approved the first step of the what the hell do you call it? Comprehensive plan. So that got approved. I sit in on the Homeless Coalition meetings just for informational purposes. There was reported get to it here. A car broke down at Ruger Park. It turned out to be a family that was traveling to California from Minnesota. Their car broke down. So they, Dakota Prairie and somebody from social services got in contact, gave them some cards for food, some gift cards and stuff. I don't know where it goes from there for them to repair their car, but they've been living in their car at Ruger. So just so you're aware that's going on. But
How many are in there?
it just says a family. I didn't have how many people.
Have you talked to them at all, Chief?
I know the guys had contact with them for a while ago. I don't know.
I just got this this morning actually. No, Friday. So
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Did you get a call this weekend, Jerry?
there's also something that I just wanted to bring up about there's this program called the 31-8 Bravery Backpack Program. So I got a letter from Laura Buchholz, or however you say it. She's the administrative assistant for this project. It's a local nonprofit. They do human trafficking awareness education and survivor mentorship programs, but they do this Bravery Backpack Program, which is to help children who have experienced trauma, often being separated from parents or guardians in unsafe environments, or violence or substance abuse these parents have. They collect items like toothbrushes, blankets, combs, underwear, body wipes, shampoo, snacks, gift cards, things of that nature, and put them in backpacks and give them to these children. I'm trying to work with some folks, a couple organizations in town to advertise this and be a part of it, we need a drop-off location. I don't know if city offices would be a good drop-off, or where you guys might think a good drop-off location would be if we could help this.
You gotta be careful because sometimes you get a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of a good place. I didn't know
Yeah.
where to.
And where are you gonna put it if you get a lot of stuff?
If you could think about it, let me know, see what we can come up with.
Social services office.
Just send me the flyer. Thank you.
No, it's a great thing. It's just a matter of.
Yeah,
getting the
just
right
where,
spot
that's the biggest.
And it
concern I
needs
have.
to be kind of kept track of too, so
Yeah.
it just doesn't.
We don't even have room for
And I
ourselves.
gotta contact her again and find out like when the pickup day would be,
Yeah.
all that stuff, but, I'll work with Spencer on it.
Fire department, of course.
And everybody's favorite topic, the LEC, I received a letter from two anonymous staff members addressed to the LEC board. So I'm going to read this letter in its entirety, because as I've mentioned before, there is some animosity between all the stuff that's going on. But here's a letter nonetheless. This letter is being submitted anonymously by two staff members of the Lake Region Correctional Facility due to concerns that speaking out publicly may lead to retaliation, particularly from the leadership within the city of Devil's Lake. Unfortunately, the city has developed a long-standing reputation for retaliating against those who voice opposition to its self-serving agenda. It also consistently demonstrated a lack of support for other entities operating within the law enforcement center. The City Commission's effort to relocate the Devils Lake Police Department out of the LEC is viewed by many as a direct insult. Proposing a sales tax increase to fund what we believe to be an unnecessary and politically motivated move represents, in our view, a misuse of valuable community resources. It will not improve public safety and appears to be driven by the city's internal priorities rather than the needs of the community. This action stands in stark contrast to the efforts of at least one city commissioner who is working diligently to improve downtown safety by organizing a task force focused on recovery, support, housing, and related issues. It seems the city's left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. The materials prepared for the upcoming July 22nd vote, the city acknowledged an uncertain future for the LEC. Instead of collaborating with their partners under the Joint Powers Agreement, they are choosing to abandon it. The Devils Lake Police Department has operated out of the LEC since 1974 and is serving this longstanding relationship, and severing this longstanding relationship sends a message to the public that the Devils Lake Police Department no longer values the role of the LEC or its staff. The city is marketing this move as a strategy to increase downtown police presence. However, we are aware of closed-door discussions concerning locations that are not downtown. This raises serious questions about the city's true intentions. To us, it appears the priority is not enhancing downtown safety, but rather moving Devils Lake PD from the LEC. Yet a patrol officer's duty is to serve the entire city, not just one area, so it's unclear how relocating the department helps fulfill that responsibility. At a time when accountability and supervision are more important than ever, the Devils Lake Police Department should not be isolating itself from the rest of the criminal justice system. How does such a move benefit public trust or our interagency relationships? How does it support the mission to protect and serve? Under the leadership of Captain Kraft and Administrator Starr, Clements-Rude, the LRCF has seen significant progress. During our recent Department of Corrections rehabilitation inspection in May, we were commended for the improvement of high level of care provided to our inmates. Our administrative team is both passionate and effective. Notably, we are the first jail in North Dakota to offer substance use treatment, and state prisons are now referring inmates to us for participation in this program. In the light of all this, the city's proposal to leave the LEC feels dismissive, disrespectful, and counterproductive to the collective good. Staff were stunned to learn that the city also approached the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office and 911 dispatch about leaving the LEC, a move that would further fracture the cohesion we've worked so hard to build. We sincerely want to thank Ramsey County Commissioners and City Commissioner Jason Pierce for their courage and commitment to what's best for the LEC and the community they serve. It's time to say no to the city's current path. We urge them to honor their commitment under the Joint Powers Agreement and start supporting the LEC in word and deed. Sincerely concerned, Lake Region Correction Facility staff members. So I just read it as a whole, regardless of my name in there. That don't mean that, like, whatever. But that's, I just wanted to share that with you, and that's.
Well, what's the feelings of the commission? I have my feeling, and I take issue with a whole lot of stuff in that letter. And rather than sit here and
Yeah.
spew it all out, it's an anonymous letter.
Yes.
And I tell you what, if they can't put their names on it, I look at it as a worthless piece of paper. And I take a lot of issue with it. We have to look out for ourselves and what the city's projected direction is going to go. And as far as I'm concerned, we have not abandoned them. We have worked with them. They have denied, they voted 5-0 to go against our suggested idea to get together and hear out what we were going to propose. They didn't even want to listen to it. With that in mind, I am highly disappointed in them, for their feelings. And then that's my feeling, but I don't know how the rest of the commission feels about it, but we are working diligently to save the city money. And a jail of $40 to $60 million probably is not in the cards without any major support from statewide people. We have a lot of responsibilities other than a jail. We've got a school that we turned down, we have to modify. I believe our kids are more important to have a brand new school than a brand new jail. And that's my personal feeling, and I'm going to stand behind it. And that's my feeling on it right now, but that letter means nothing to me. I'm sorry. That's how I feel about it.
No, I
But
said I'd share it. Don't kill the messenger.
we are working hard to try to save the city money. And what we're trying to propose is a good deal. And we actually Spencer has worked up a good plan about possibly working together with the sheriff's department in an administrative building with building potential jail right behind it, if they'd have given us the opportunity to spell that out. But they denied it by a 5-0 vote. So I am not really willing to listen to that.
Okay.
But that's, every commissioner has a right to speak their thoughts.
Absolutely. I just shared it. That's what they asked, so I shared it.
If there's any more discussion on that?
If not, we have the meeting tomorrow, and then I have another meeting Wednesday, and I have another meeting with the staff to bring them up to speed on where we're at with the planning of the jail.
Sure.
So that's what we got going on.
Okay,
So,
I'll
Mr.
just
Mayor.
on record that I will not be attending that
Yes,
meeting.
I'm aware. Thank you.
Anything else?
No,
Okay, Rob?
I'm going to the meeting.
Yep, that's that. Good. Yeah, and voice how you feel about it.
I have my opinion, but
Okay,
I'm gonna keep it to myself.
okay,
It's not very
all right.
nice.
Well, anybody have anything to say to that letter? If not, we will move on.
That
Is that
is
it,
all I have
Commissioner?
for you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, at this time, Chief,
I do appreciate your words, Mayor. I strongly agree with you.
thank you.
We've been trying to get a police department for almost a decade, if not longer. It has nothing to do with the LAC. We're still going to support them. We're still going to bring our prisoners there. We're still going to be part of the joint powers.
Okay.
So this is, I do appreciate your words. Commissioner Pierce, with the Bravery Backpack Initiative.
Yes.
That's Laura. I spoke to her today.
Okay.
We're going to do 10 backpacks, just a trial for police officers to give out. We're not going to store a lot of them because we just don't know what the feeling is. She said in the past, I know she spoke with Chief Bennett, and they have stored backpacks there. I don't know if that's accurate or not. She said about 2 years ago. So that's what she said to me on the phone today. So we're going to give it a shot and see what it's about, see if we can maybe enhance that program.
Okay. If you do, let me know.
Sure.
I'll work with you guys because it's, I think it's something that I can get a couple organizations.
You know,
to be
in the
part of.
past, Jeff Wall with the Hope Center had, I wonder if Chief Kanowski was there, they had bags that they gave out to homeless people, or hygiene, things of that nature. This is for the children, so I think it's a good initiative. Okay. So we'll give it a shot.
Appreciate it.
We swore in Braden Welsh, she's our newest officer today. His family came up from Grand Forks, so it was a nice ceremony that we had for him. Next week, I'll be heading to the Chiefs of Police Conference. It's in Grand Forks. I'm just going to attend one day because we have other priorities that we're working on. So That's about all I got for you.
Okay. Anybody, anything for the chief? Thank you, chief.
Yep.
Spencer?
Yeah, Mayor, members of the commission, maybe just really two quick things. Included the legislative report from the League of Cities. Big table, lots of bills, small print. We had kind of on a high level talked about having a special city commission meeting next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So I heard Tuesday floated out. Tuesday noon, the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
So Tuesday, the 24th at noon, we'll have a special budget meeting, go over primarily the general fund, as you know, with the sales tax proposal. You got obviously the PD relocation piece of it, but then also the public safety services. Really want to drill, really go into the weeds on the general fund, show basically, how it's funded, all this sort of stuff, and the expenses and the proportions. And I think I kind of showed you, some of you guys, a couple of graphs already on that. So have a conversation on the general fund on the 24th. And we'll explain, I'll work with Rob in the interim, and we're going to work out the mill value or the valuation and the dollars levied and what the rules for 1176 are. There's a big, huge seminar in Bismarck that we recorded that Rob watched and reviewed. So we're going to crunch the numbers and give you guys a briefing on that. And then hopefully between now and the last meeting in July, I'll kind of run through this with the city attorney, see if we need to update any of our ordinances to align with state central code. So we'll bring that to you guys at future meetings. But regardless, the report is here. And hearing no objections, I will send out notice to the necessary parties that June 24th at noon, City Hall, special city commission meeting on budget. That's all I have. Thank you.
One alibi, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Working with Spencer on getting another meeting of the Downtown Safety Task Force together. I've had folks contact me that are part of it that were wondering when the next meeting is. So I will be here at 7.
Okay. That's all, Spencer?
Yes.
Okay. Jason, I understand you're on the phone. Have you got anything?
Yes, President Mel. First of all, I do apologize for not appearing in person. I've been under the weather for several days. I did not want to expose everyone to whatever germs I'm still carrying.
That's very appreciative. Thank you.
Other than that, I did speak with Spencer Halverson earlier today. The abstracts for the property involving the Job Development Authority, the south east part of town. In any event, those abstracts of title have been completed by the abstracting office, and I'll review them quickly as possible. So I'm just trying to communicate that the legal end of that program it has a favorable schedule, I'd say, and I'll try to turn around the work as quickly as I can. I would estimate between 1 week from today. Other than that, that's all I have.
Any questions for Jason?
Mr. Saylor, where are we at on the blighted structures for that church and other blighted structures around town that have been addressed?
You'll have to forgive me. I usually, when I think of blighted structures, I designate them by their legal description because that's how I've always dealt with them. The 3 that action has been taken on, the property owned by Mr. Nelson, the old creamery. The other one is the downtown one owned by Kelly Swenseth. So the one that you're inquiring about, the church, I would have to look to determine which one it is, but there were half of the properties had to be the process had to be started over for different reasons. Majority of them was we could not serve the owners by certified mail, so now I have to start over that notification process by finding a sheriff and having personal service of that notice of hearing. I don't believe it's the one you're referring to. The ownership changed in between the initiation of the abatement process and the actual hearing. So that, again, had to restart. So where we're at in terms of, I'll say globally, those properties that could not go to a hearing is to locate the owner and serve them with notice of hearing personally. And that would be by sheriff's service.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, is that everything, Jason?
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I have just a couple announcements. I want to congratulate several people that are having upcoming retirements. Dr. Doug Darling's retiring on June 25th. So I want to congratulate him on his upcoming retirement. Donna Fuchs' upcoming retirement is Wednesday, June 18th. I believe an open house at the Elks from 1 to 3:30 p.m. And I believe she had like 50 years of service, wasn't that correct?
Yeah.
That's outstanding. And then again, Rodney Eisdahl with 30 years of service to the Lake Region Corporation and the City of Devils Lake in the recycling program. And he's on tomorrow from 11 to 1 at the Roosevelt Shelter in Devils Lake. So on behalf of the City of Devils Lake, I congratulate all three of these individuals on outstanding work to our community and support for our communities. Put that on record. Anything else under portfolios at this time? If not, we'll move into old business. And first one is the update on sales tax initiative and the police department relocation. Spencer.
I think the memo speaks for itself, but I think maybe just for public information purposes, open houses for the sales tax proposal, July 8th, 11 to 1 p.m. and 4 to 6:30 p.m. and July 10th, 11 to 1 p.m. and 4 to 6:30 p.m. Mostly kind of just an open house. We'll have some static displays there. Maybe not necessarily a formal presentation unless there's a big group that comes in the middle, but kind of meant for people to walk in, come in, and we'll have again those static displays. And, be at the fire hall.
July
and then
8th.
July 8th and July 10th.
Well, at the fire hall.
At the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. In two windows, one over the lunch hour, one in the evening. So people have lots of opportunities to get there if that's the venue they want to learn about what the proposal is. As far as election administration, we've got, I called a few people last week, got election judges and clerks, and waiting on a confirmation from them to get an inspector. And we'll have you, the commission, appoint those officials at the July 7th City Commission.
Okay.
Absentee ballots are available on the city's website or here at City Hall. You have to fill out an absentee ballot application, provide it to us, and then we will mail you a ballot, which you can mail back to us if you want to vote absentee. And then, I gave an update there on the police department relocation and defining the scope. I think enough of it's been said in this meeting. So I think at a big high level, we met with the county just to see if we could create some sort of a greater good partnership that I think would have saved a lot of money. And it was unsuccessful, and so we've ceased those conversations. So through that, the city, I think we have clarity that if we are to relocate the police department, it would be just the police department going. And that helps us know how big of a building we either need to purchase or build. And so let the search begin even more, and we will work with the commission on that moving forward. So with that, I will turn it back over to you, Mayor.
Okay. Any questions at all about anything? Now we'll move on. And consent agenda, we have nothing. We'll go into new business, and the first item is liquor license renewal for July 1st, 2025. Is list of them here.
Those are mostly all renewals, Mayor.
So motion to approve those.
Take a motion to approve.
Commissioner Hatch,
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 2, appointment to the Renaissance Zone Authority. Rob, you.
Basically, as the memo indicates, we have 3 individuals to appoint to the authority. They are replacing 3 individuals who have all retired, which would be Brad Barth, Paula Visted, and Vonda Markestead. So we'd also like to extend our gratitude for the service on that board. But other than that, it's located in the memo.
I'll make a motion to approve those individuals and to appoint them as members.
Commissioner Kanowski,
I'll second.
Commissioner Pierce. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 3, a budget amendment 2505 for a vacuum excavator. Yeah. Mike, if you want to just give us an update on your memo?
Included in your packet is a memo related to this piece of equipment. It's a specialized piece of equipment that's used for vacuum excavation. Sometimes you can use high pressure water with a large vacuum to safely remove material from an excavation or around a utility that you don't want to dig around. We had budgeted for a piece of equipment. We started looking at the equipment and source pool pricing and things. And it turns out the equipment, the particular piece of equipment, is a little more expensive than what had been estimated. Visited with the city administrator, the funding is available, and so recommend the city commission approve a budget amendment to include the additional $30,000 in that budget line item so that the equipment can be purchased through sourcewell pricing.
Mayor, when members of the commission, the 75,000 was budgeted to come out of the equipment reserve to offset the expense for that out of the operations. One of the things I want to do is I want to wait till the end of the year to see how the fund performs overall. And so if we're facing a solid surplus in that fund, that we could just use the utility operations money in that account, save some of their equipment reserve. And if it's more of a break-even scenario, then maybe using more of the equipment reserve. But as far as where the money comes from for it, kind of want to wait till the end of the year to see what account we take it out of. But just in general, we need a piece of equipment, so recommending approval.
What's the timeline to get it, or is the lead time on it?
With commission approval, it'll be ordered tomorrow. And then based on the information that I have, we're looking at 3 weeks.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget adjustment.
Commissioner Kanowski,
I'll second.
Commissioner Pierce. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kanowski.
Aye.
President Miller.
Aye, motion carries. Citizen comment, we have nothing tonight. Informational items, we have the May 2025 financial report.
Mayor, just a quick note on that. I'm just waiting on a breakdown on a deposit that we had from the county treasurer. And so I highlighted in gray the funds that it would affect. Once we have that breakdown, I will update it to the website and send it out to you guys all directly.
All right. Any questions? Not? Okay, and I guess last item is motion to approve the payment of bills as is submitted.
Make a motion to pay the bills as submitted.
Commissioner Pierce,
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kanowski.
Aye.
President Miller.
Aye, motion carried. If there's no other business to come before the commission, the meeting's adjourned.
Hey, Rob. I hope you get it.